Kiersten White's Hide, sleeper hit of the freaking... I've never heard of this. The library has cool little symbols. God, it's such a glare in here you can't really see it. But there's like little symbols that say like a genre right here on the book. So when the books are on the shelves, you know, you can see like whatever. This is large print, so it doesn't have them. But it's this, and it's like, oh look. So I walked by, saw the horror symbol, and I'm like, bam. Cool map. Chuck Wendig's on it, so I love Chuck Wendig. That's pretty cool. And I was like, cool. You know what? We'll check it out. The back sounds good. We'll check it out. There's a little bit of a spoiler that I have to do for this. So if you don't want a spoiler, I highly recommend this. 4 out of 5. It's good, nonsensical fun. It's harmless. It's not going to hurt you. It's not very scary. It's a cool, fun murder mystery with a little demonic horror undertone. Not very scary, but cool in the horror genre. So your main character, Mac, she's awesome. She's really fun. What she does is she's a survivor. One day her dad flips shit and murder-lates the whole family. She's like, hey-ya, and murder-lates his whole family, except for Mac, who hid. And Mac's always had problems with this. Like, why was I the survivor? I basically hid while someone murdered my family. And she's been kind of hiding and staying tucked into her little self the whole life until she finds out about this really hardcore hide-and-seek competition where you might die. But if you win, you get $50,000. She's like, man, I could really use that. Get a house, get out of here, maybe take some time for me. So Mac does it. Mac's like, you know what? 50K is 50K. Let's do it. She gets on a bus. They do sign the waivers and all that jazz. Now, when this like thing starts happening, and it starts happening pretty quick, she realizes that, oh crap, there's this killer monster, and I hide, and this monster goes around killing people 2 a day, and at the end, whoever's left, they get to go. That's the story. That's your main plot right there. The characters, though, in this are a little underdeveloped. Mac's important. The 2 Avas, yeah, there's 2 girls named Ava. They're important. And every so often, another one will show up, Linda. But the other part, your other like 10 to 12 characters, fodder. They don't even matter. Which sucks, but the story's only 300 pages, so you focus mainly on them. You find out later on, now this is the spoiler, that the town summoned a monster, and it's like, each year you have to sacrifice a child. Boom, boom. Each family in this town has to sacrifice a child to this minotaur-looking creature with 5 horns. Reminded me of like Hellboy in his full Hellboy form, but he's like, you have to sacrifice a monster to the demon, and your family gets riches and luck and yada yada. So every year these families, they each chip in some money, they pull these 14 people over, and then boom, that's how the monster gets fed and all that malarkey. They figure that out, they try to escape, and it just goes awry. It's intense, and it's fast-paced, and it's fun. It's not very scary, though. Like, on the first day, the main character, like, I'm gonna lay on the roof, and then she starts developing relationships, and they dig more into, like, her family getting killed. They dig more into, like, the other people, stuff like that, and the whole town summoning the demon vibe. And you find all this stuff out, and it's a really cool book. Like I said, though, it's really short. It's only like 300 pages, and I've never heard of this. I could just have a kind of like a weird connection to like, oh, creepy amusement park. That sounds like it'd be fun to read. Reminded me of Joyland from Stephen King, which I absolutely adored. It was one of the better King novels, and I was like, Hide. I've never heard of this. I've rarely heard of Kiersten White. So this was just great. It was awesome, short-paced fun. That's my big thing. And the demon undertone kept it fun and adventurous, but it's all in a game of hide and seek, which we all played. So it kind of pulled on those nostalgic childhood heartstrings and childhood fears. But that being said, guys, this video is already like 5 minutes, and I've kind of spoiled a little bit when you find out it's a monster and what they do. But the story's great. The whole book is super fast-paced. I read this in a day, and it's super fast-paced, super fun. Most of the characters are kind of lame, but you get onto it. And honestly, though, like, you can recommend this and sound like you know the fucking shit you're talking about, because I've never heard of this. Like, when you talk to someone like, oh, what books do you recommend? Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I got an It tattoo. I got a Dark Tower tattoo, Jurassic Park, Meg. Like, everyone's like, oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, you can talk about these, like, insanely, yeah, I just compared Meg to Jurassic Park and Stephen King. I was there. But yeah, Meg is great. Meg is great. But yeah, you sound like that, but I feel like when you come across someone and you talk about horror novels, everyone brings up the same couple, like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Tender as the Flesh blew up, whatever blows up on Book Talk or whatever at the time. But you do this, someone be like, oh shit, this dude's sick in the head because he reads the far dark corner stuff. Like this is something that like horror fans would seek out, I think. But the thing is, it's not scary. It's just fun with a scary undertone. It reminded me of watching a slasher movie. But thanks for watching. Solid D+. Kiersten White. I will read more of your shit. Thank you for writing this. And also, if you're wondering about the really small shirt, I did a chest day workout yesterday. I've been trying to get in better shape, and right here is just covered with icy hot. And I don't want to wear a big shirt that covers with icy hot, but I have the beanie on because my house is cold because it's winter and I live in the Midwest where it freezes or it melts. There's no middle. And I'm still cold, but I smell like icy hot, and I don't want to get my hoodies to stink. But that's been Pruitt, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you've read anything by her, let me know. Thank you. Deuces.